Hey, what is up now? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. Hope you're doing amazing out there on this fine Monday afternoon. I wanted to do a live stream here. I hadn't done one on Facebook here for a while. I'm trying to rebuild my Facebook profile. So if you find this and you resonate with what I have to say today, then hey, follow me, and all that jazz. So what do I want to talk about today? So I want to talk about input, output, and function. These are mathematical terms, okay? And I just want to talk about them as they relate to online business and marketing, because I think it's very important in this day and age, because there's so much distraction out there right now. There is a lot of distraction out there. So let me just kind of start. By the way, I'm in my van right now. I took a friend to the doctor, and I'm just kind of waiting on him. So in my meantime, waiting on them, I thought, hey, why not just try recording a live stream video for people here? But anyways, so we're talking about input, output, and function. Okay, so in math, like, input is the data that you get at the beginning. Output is the data that you produce, the answer, basically. Function, right? Now, this isn't a math lesson, and I'm not a math expert, but I'm trying to, explain it to you as best I know. So we got to start here for some context. So function is basically, look at it like a machine. Like that is the system that allows you to plug in the input and run it through this system, this function, to create the answer, right? The output. That's how function works in math. Transformation, another way to put it. So what I'm saying is, in online business and marketing, what I have found is, like, we are inundated with input, okay? There is so much data out there. There is so much, like, advice, interesting ideas, interesting concepts. There is a plethora of it, and it's gets more and more every single day. It gets more and more every single day. Sorry, someone was driving by. I'm just trying to see what we got going on here. It gets more and more every single day. So the input it can be constant if you let it. I mean, there could always be another podcast to listen to. There could always be another book to read. There could always be another YouTube video to watch. There could always be another course to take. There could always be another special report to read. All right? It's constant. The input can be constant. Now, when you switch over to the output, like what you produce in your business, what you're putting out there for the world in your business, a lot of it's based on your education and input, right? But the question is, what is the function? When we talk about online business, how do you create this kind of system that transforms what you're taking in and kind of runs it through your own process so that you can put out original, unique, interesting, products, or, content, or whatever you're trying to do, services? How do you become unique? What's the USP on this stuff? Like, how are you standing out? How are you different, right? Well, to get to that differentiation, to be different, to stand out, to have these great USPs, you really need to think about the function of it. You take the input in, it's got to be processed by you in some way, shape, or form. It can't just be like, if you don't process it enough, if you don't filter it enough through your own ideas, then you're just going to look like a copy of a copy of a copy, okay? Your output is not going to be different enough from the input. And in math, they'd call that the wrong answer. But in business, they'd call that just getting ignored. No one's going to pay attention to you because you seem just like three other people, okay? And why would they listen to you when they can just go listen to those other three people who probably are more established than you, probably, better at what they do than you, and probably have more, experience than you, right? Why would people listen to you when you're just a copy of a copy of a copy, right? That's the danger of not having proper function in place, okay? So when we talk about this function, when we talk about taking input in and then running it through some kind of internal system to actually create something unique and put out good output, how do we do that? Well, I think it's something that a lot of people have forgotten. For me, my function revolves a lot around space. Okay, it revolves a lot around like taking time to go on walks. No music, right? No music, no podcasts, no input. Okay, to create function in business, in my opinion, to create function in business, you have to create space. And what I mean by that, the best way to create space is to cut off the input. Cut off the input. There has to be like a definitive line where the input is cut off and you stop taking on new information and you give your brain time to process all the various pieces of information that you've received. And I don't just mean like educational information. I don't just mean like podcasts or business books or special reports or video courses. I don't just mean that, okay? It could be anything. It could be movies. It could be music. It could be, books that you've read for entertainment. It could be things that have happened to you in real life. You take a trip to the grocery store and you notice some kind of price discrepancy on the milk, okay? It could be anything. That's all input. So how do you create function? How do you create efficient function to like properly like process all that input and create great output? How do you do it? Like I said, you create space. You got to cut off the input as much as possible for a little bit of time, right? And then some ideas start flowing for output. Good ideas start flowing for output. And then the other thing I would say is, like, as you come up with ideas, just write them down. Constantly write ideas down. So when you're in this like function period, when you're in this like processing kind of phase, where you're not taking on any input, you're just thinking about all the things you have taken on in the past, you can pull out your like notepad of ideas and look at some of the stuff you've written down. And a lot of them are going to be bad ideas, and some of them are going to be good ideas. Some of them are going to be kind of like mediocre ideas or whatever. But it doesn't matter, because the ideas are going to help like spark your brain. It's going to like be like cranks that like kind of like, get the gears rolling again in your mind. And that is kind of how I look at the relationship between input and output in business. There's got to be this like function in the middle, kind of just like mathematics, okay? There's got to be this function in the middle, and the function is there to act as kind of like this system to help you process all the input that you're taking in and create interesting and unique pieces of output. So anyways, that's all I got. This has kind of been a test to see if this little live stream is going to work on my phone here. Who knows? I haven't done one of these for a while, and I got a new phone here. So yeah, I think that's it, man. Hey, listen, if you like what I have to say and you're interested in more about what I got to say, be sure to get over to epicconversions.com, sign up for my email list. I'm actually running a sale right now. And it'll be going on until the end of Thursday, I believe. It's 40% off sale on one of my courses. It's called 4-Hour Money Machines. Really great course. It's all about, making money with info products, right? And someone said to me recently, hey, Cam, do you think, this is kind of a side note, but someone said to me recently, hey, Cam, do you think info products are still valid in 2025? I mean, aren't they kind of like, kind of dying out? I mean, considering the people just go over to AI and they can get any information they want. I mean, why would they need to buy an information product where they can just jump on AI and get information that they need? And I thought that was a really interesting thing to say, because here's how I look at it. First and foremost, I'm not in the information products business. I'm not in the info products business, okay? I'm in the captivation business, okay? I'm in the delivering people like under the radar, interesting, curiosity-driven information business, okay? I am in the mysteries business. To put it bluntly, I'm not in the info products business. I'm in the secrets business, okay? And the secrets business is alive and well. All right. So that's what I would tell you about info products. before AI was ever here, we had, like, I don't know if you realize this, I'm sure you do. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like before AI ever got here, like people were drowning in information online. Terms like information overload and, paralysis by analysis. Those were common terms before AI ever came around. So it's not like tons of free information on the internet is anything new. It's not. There's tons of free information on the internet. It's been around for a while now. People can go to YouTube. I mean, just YouTube alone. Think about all the free stuff on YouTube alone. I remember back in the 90s, I would love a certain band and I would like scoop up all the stuff I could find about this band, I remember buying like, bootleg documentaries with behind the scenes footage of bands and stuff in the 90s at music stores, and I'd pay a pretty penny for those. They were like on VHS tapes, okay? And, now, I mean, any band I'm interested in, any new band I just hear about, I can immediately run over to YouTube and I can find interviews by those band members. Easy, right? Information is everywhere. It is dumped on us by the gallon, okay? But like I said, what I sell and what a lot of people who you say are in the info product selling business, they don't really sell information, okay? They sell secrets. I'm talking about the uncommon, fairly unknown pieces of information. And then the beauty of an info product guy or gal, the beauty of a marketer and a product vendor online is that they properly know how to convey what they have on the sales page, okay? So it's like you have a really interesting, tidbit of information, and you put like maybe 5 of those tidbits of information together about one subject, and then you package that up and you convey that properly on the sales page. Well, now it's not just information anymore, is it? Now it's just not just some unrare, uninteresting, ununique piece of information you dumped on YouTube. No. Now it's something special. Now it creates captivation. Now it creates curiosity. Now it is something that people covet and desire. All right. And that is the deal when it comes to what they say, quote unquote, info products business. All right. No, it's not in danger from AI, because good info product marketers, they don't just dump information on people. They sell secrets, right? They sell captivation. They sell curiosity. And these are things that are valuable skills. And if you want to do info products and you want to be in the information marketing business, that's what you got to understand. It's not the information marketing business. It's the secrets business. So anyways, look, I've rambled on long enough about this stuff. Again, if you like anything I have to say, be sure to get over to epicconversions.com, sign up for my email list. I put out my best offers. I like to think I put out my best free information to my email list. I email my list 3 to 6 times a week. Sign up, and I'll see you in the inbox. All right? Peace now.